Hey everyone, as always Jarek here. As many of you know, I managed to get a 3080 a few weeks ago, and today I'm really going to be testing it. After all, if your electronic, no matter what it is, can't run Doom, it's worthless. Okay, so this video is many years late, but I wanted to play some Brutal Doom, damn it, I never covered it somehow. Okay, right away I need to state that you are going to see some weird tile warping when I look up and down. For whatever reason, GZ Doom just does not work for me. Z Doom works, but GZ Doom gives me no audio. I'm not missing a DLL file, I do have it set to OpenGL and Fmod. Audio just doesn't work for me in GZ Doom. It seems to not like my sound card. But Z-Doom works fine, so we can live with this. I also wanted to entertain the idea that if someone had never played Doom 1 and 2 before, somehow, should you just jump in and play Brutal Doom instead and not bother with the original games? I'll get back to that question. I need to answer what Brutal Doom is first. If you haven't played Doom 1 and 2 before, you probably have no idea what Brutal Doom is. So, Brutal Doom is a mod for the original Dooms, but not only can you play Doom 1 and 2 with it, there's just endless WADs that'll work with Brutal Doom. It has standalone campaigns, there's also a brutal version of Brutal Doom 64, which is something totally different. With all of these WADs, if you're not careful, you can totally lose track of time. And then all you want to do is play Doom. Not that I would know or anything, that's not something I would do. Okay, but I still haven't answered the question correctly. What does Brutal Doom do that makes it different from the original Dooms? Let's start with this like I usually do, starting with the story. Yeah, this is Doom, no one gives a fuck about the story. Okay, we care about Daisy, but that's cheating. Let's move on to the graphics, and Brutal Doom has done quite a bit. Obviously, it's still sprite-based and resembles the original Doom games, but there's new sound effects, new graphical effects, entirely new lighting, tons and tons of unfiltered gore. This is really a complete overhaul mod for the original Dooms, and it looks significantly better. Granted, it's obviously never going to look as good as a modern day game. Still though, it's Doom, and this sort of graphical style has its charm. But I think what really shows off how much better Brutal Doom looks than the original Doom are the Earth levels in Doom 2. This is what Doom 2 originally looks like. The base game to me didn't look like Earth, and that's one of my biggest disappointments I had with Doom 2. It was called Hell on Earth, and we got this. This isn't Earth. This is just fighting inside of a gray Lego. Now here's what the same level looks like in Brutal Doom. That is so much better. Now we move to what really makes Brutal Doom, the gameplay. More specifically, how brutal it is. As I mentioned, there is so much gore in this game, and it's amazing. Oh, that's not, okay, good. Oh, just let them fight each other. Someone please clip that. I love this game. Even a simple pistol shot sounds impactful. This is the most important thing to me when it comes to first-person shooters. Your interaction with the world is through your gun, and if your gun isn't fun to shoot, the game is not fun. Thankfully in Brutal Doom, they take guns and ramp them up to 11. These things are loud, they shake your entire screen violently, and they have the appropriate reactions whenever you shoot something. A simple pump action is going to blast that body in half. In fact, with the general tone and feeling of Brutal Doom, a lot of people were asking if Doom 2016 was heavily inspired by Brutal Doom, especially with how the Berserk pickup works in this mod. When you have the Berserk pickups, you can do standard assassinations, curb stomping an imp, pulling an eye out of a Cacodemon. These are very similar to that of Doom 2016. Now you can make the argument that Brutal Doom was probably just inspired by other games, maybe the assassinations in Halo Reach, but then you could argue that the assassinations in Halo Reach were inspired by, say, hack and slashes. I mean, that's a rabbit hole that will never end, but the general tone and nature of Brutal Doom seems way too close to Doom 2016 for this to just be a coincidence. And this is a very popular mod in Doom's own community, so I'm sure it's software new beforehand. If that is where they got their inspiration, then that means glory kills happened because of Brutal Doom, and that's pretty awesome. Anyway, yes, gore, guts, enemies, guns, Pretty much the entire concept of the original Doom is there, just extreme. And that's what makes this mod so good. It still feels like Doom. A lot of people will have complaints about brutal mods for other games, like for example Brutal Half-Life, totally changing the tone of Half-Life. I personally don't agree. I think that misses the point of a mod like that for Half-Life. We've all played Half-Life a million times, so it's nice to have a change of pace. It's not supposed to be the first thing you play if you've never played Half-Life before. That should just be base Half-Life, not Brutal Half-Life. But with Brutal Doom, that's a lot more difficult of an argument to make. This is still Doom through and through, just with a lot new mechanics added in. For example, the shotgun. It works as a powerful pump-action shotgun that holds 9 shells. However, if you aim down sights, you're able to slam fire it. This adds an extra level of utility to this shotgun that wasn't there before. Or once you get into Doom 2, the double barrel. If you right click, it only fires 1 shell. So if you have numerous small enemies around, you don't want to waste 2 shells on each of them, just fire 1 shell at each and there you go. Left click is obviously still firing both shells at once, which sounds like God slamming his car door. Like I said, they just took what made things good about Doom and made them extreme. And speaking of extreme, you will eventually get a fully automatic shotgun that is ridiculous. Even the entirely new introductions didn't really change what made Doom Doom. They just kind of filled holes that weren't originally there. For example, the pistol uses its own ammo type, and then you eventually will get an SMG. An SMG never existed in Doom before, but hey, this is a cool new role that I like seeing in the game. On top of that, you can dual wield certain weapons like the SMG, like the assault rifle, and like the plasma gun. Just extra layers of fun that don't change the game from what it was, but add more enjoyment. I'm gonna stop myself here. I could talk about the guns forever in this game. They're all a bunch of fun, but hey, if you haven't for whatever reason played Brutal Doom yet, I'll leave something for you to find. So let's revisit that question. If you have never played Doom before, should you start with Brutal Doom? Doom 1 and 2, in my opinion, have aged like fine wine, with the only exception being that it's still somewhat easy to get lost in a few of the levels because you have to find key cards, but those are fleeting moments. For the most part, it doesn't matter if you were born in the year 1980, 1991, 2010, you can still play Doom today and have fun. And it's available on virtually every platform. If you play on PC, you can buy it on Steam, GOG, pretty much anywhere. If you play on consoles, I guarantee you there is a Doom port for you. So my answer here is that I would tell you to at least play a chapter of the original Doom games, just to kind of get an appreciation for what Doom was, and then play Brutal Doom to really know what they did. You won't appreciate Brutal Doom anywhere near as much if you haven't played the base games first. But I don't think Brutal Doom really changes Doom enough to be offended if someone just starts with Brutal Doom. I know some people are going to get angry at me saying that. I'm just glad people are enjoying Doom all these years later. If you want to install Brutal Doom, it's super easy. All you have to do is go download a source port, which makes it sound scarier than what you're actually doing. Just go download GZ Doom. Once you've downloaded GZ Doom, extract it to a folder. Now you have to get your Doom 1 and 2 WADs, or whatever WAD you want to play. As I said, Ultimate Doom is available on Steam, so is Doom 2, so you can buy it there. Then go into where it's installed, drag and drop the Doom and Doom 2 WADs into that folder. Now you go download the Brutal Doom mod, which is just one pack file. You drag and drop it into your GZ Doom folder. Then you click on that pack file, drag it onto the GZ Doom exe file, and boom, Brutal Doom launches. It's really just drag and dropping a few things and is super easy to play. And remember, you can download plenty of WADs and play whatever you want to. You don't have to buy these on Steam or use these specific WADs. So yes, long story short, Brutal Doom is a ton of fun, and if you guys like this video enough, I might eventually make a video of Brutal Doom 64, which I'm pretty interested in. I somehow have never gotten around to playing Brutal Doom 64, and I like Doom 64. It's kind of a was forgotten Doom game up until a few years ago. Thanks to all of you guys that joined me over on Twitch while I was streaming Brutal Doom. My Twitch is twitch.tv/JarekTheGamingDragon if you want to come hang out in the future. If you subscribe, you get to see my videos ahead of time. Same thing for my patrons over on patreon.com/Jarek4. Thank all of you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.